Hello and welcome to my submission for the PIVP 3100 assignment using cognitive science to enhance instruction. My name is Jerry and I'd like to talk about an article I found on the Wiley Online Library titled The Stress Paradox: How Stress Could Be Good for Learning. It was co-written by Joy Rudland, Tim Wilkinson, and Clinton Golding from the University of Otago in New Zealand, and it was published in January of 2020 by John Wiley and Sons and the Association for the Study of Medical Education. And although the target audience is health profession educators, I think the idea that stress can be good for learning could be applied to teaching in a pipe fitting apprenticeship as well. The article resonated with me as I'll be teaching these programs, which typically last 3 to 4 years, and where the long-term retention of information is going to be more important than quick knowledge. So learning how to teach my students how to think more positively about stress and how to use it as a positive motivator will help me become a better instructor. The main ideas of this article are that stress is not always bad for learning and that stress is important for stress-related growth. Also that maybe negative of stress could be contributing to its negative impact, and that positive stress can lead to long-term learning. So in my classroom, I'll have students build and test natural gas piping systems for a furnace or a hot water tank, and they'll be using prefabricated pipe and fittings. They'll be required to install all of the necessary components, including the isolation valves, the mechanical unions, the drip legs, and the regulators, although we'll leave the regulators out of the system until after the leak test or the stressor that this article talks about. So we'll test the system by capping one end and installing a test header at the other end, which consists of a pressure gauge, isolation valve, and a fitting to connect to an air compressor. We introduce 15 psi or pounds per square inch of pressure and hold it for 15 minutes. If the test holds, the student has completed the exercise, lead the system down safely. But if the pressure drops during the test, we would use a combination of soap and water to locate the leak, spray the joints and connections. And once we find it, we bleed this down, make necessary repairs, usually just tightening it, and then retest. So the stress of knowing that the system could fail without any serious consequence may help students learn the task, and they'll be given many opportunities to practice these exercises. Their apprenticeship, of course, scaling up as they go. And by spacing these exercises throughout their apprenticeship, I'm hoping to help my students become more comfortable with their knowledge and ability and give them the confidence they need to excel in the trade. So Robert Bjork of the Bjork Learning and Forgetting Lab talks about desirable difficulties in his YouTube video on slowing down learning, emphasizing the idea that fast learning does not lead to long-term retention of information, which I agree with. I posted a link to the video on my blog. I believe the purpose of this article is to articulate the importance of stress and learning, and that by thinking more positively about stress and using stressors, educators can better help the student's learning journey. So I found it interesting. It was applicable to my trade and applicable to me personally as an adult learner, learning how adults learn. I hope you guys enjoy the article. Thanks for watching.